You know that feeling when you're using a tool that's super powerful, but you have absolutely no idea how it works? It's just a complete mystery? Well, today we're going to dig into a project that's all about fixing that exact problem. We're talking about taking a really powerful content filtering system and building what we're calling a glass box around it. The whole goal is to make every single decision it makes totally visible and understandable. So, the system we have right now is, honestly, a beast. Think of it like a web proxy that intercepts and filters content based on a whole set of rules. And look, it's really effective. It absolutely gets the job done. But as we're about to see, just being powerful isn't the whole story. And it's not just powerful, it is fast. I mean, really fast. Thanks to this clever caching system we put in, page load times went from a painful 22 seconds all the way down to just zero point 0.6 seconds, but it's a 36 times speed up. On paper, that is a massive engineering win. But there's a catch. Right? Because all that incredible speed, it's actually hiding a huge problem. For all of its power, nobody, and I mean nobody, can actually see how it's doing what it's doing. What is going on inside that box? It's a complete and total mystery. And that mystery, well, that's what we in tech call a black box. You've got information going in, a decision coming out, but the entire process that happens in the middle is completely hidden. You can't see it. And that is the core problem we are setting out to fix. And look, this isn't just me saying this. This is a direct quote from our user research. It's what people are actually feeling when they use this thing. It feels random, unpredictable. And let's be honest, when a system feels like that, you just stop trusting it. Simple as that. So this frustration isn't just hitting one type of person. This whole black box issue is creating major headaches for two totally different groups of users, both of whom, by the way, rely on this system every single day. Okay, so on one hand, you've got the developer. Their job is to debug this thing to make sure it's actually working correctly. And then on the other hand, you have the end user, right? They just want to understand, hey, why was this piece of content hidden? So you see, they have totally different day-to-day goals, but they're both screaming for the exact same thing: visibility. Let's talk about the developers for a sec. For them, this is a technical nightmare. They are, for all intents and purposes, flying blind. They're asking themselves, is the cache even working? Is the AI making the right calls? Where are the bottlenecks? It's exactly like being told to fix a car engine, but you're not allowed to pop the hood. It's just impossible. Now, for the end user, the pain is a little different. It's all about trust, or, the lack of it. Content just vanishes without any explanation. The whole thing feels completely random. And this is so much more than just a bad user experience. It actively destroys their faith in a tool that's supposed to be helping them. So with all that in mind, the mission becomes crystal clear, doesn't it? We have to tear down the walls of this black box. We have to replace them with something you can actually see through. It is time to build a glass box. And really, this is the whole goal right here. We're trying to make a huge shift. We want to go from a system that feels opaque, arbitrary, and frankly, untrustworthy to one that is transparent, verifiable, and can finally earn the trust of the people who depend on it. Because at the end of the day, the new system has to answer one single fundamental question from the user. And that question is, why was this content hidden? That's it. Our new interface has to give them a simple, direct answer to that right then and there. So how do we actually do that? How do we give them that answer? Well, it all starts with pulling back the curtain and just showing them the process. Under the hood, it's actually a pretty simple 3-step thing. Step 1, we grab the text from the page. Step 2, our language model gives that content a score. And step 3, if the score is below a certain number, we filter it out. That's it. By showing people these steps, all that scary magic just becomes simple, understandable logic. Okay, so the next step is to translate that logic into something you can actually see right on the page. The new UI is going to show every single filtering action. We'll use some simple color coding, green for stuff you can see, red for stuff that's been hidden, and here's the most important part. You can just hover over any of those hidden items and a little tooltip will pop up explaining the exact rating and the reason it was filtered. No more guessing. All right, so that's the big vision. It sounds good, right? But how do we actually get it done? Well, we've broken the whole project down into a really focused 4-week game plan. This is our roadmap. This is how we turn the idea of a glass box into a real tool that people can actually use.
So here's how it's going to break down. Week 1 is all about the foundation. We're just building the basic site and page navigation so you can even see what's been cached. Then, in week 2, we'll let you do deep dives into the cached data for any specific page. Week 3, this is the big one. This is when we build those user-facing transparency tools we were just talking about. And finally, week 4 is for adding some advanced developer tools and putting on that final layer of polish. It's a really logical progression, from basic visibility all the way to full transparency.
Okay, so fast forward 4 weeks. The work is done. How do we know if we actually succeeded? How do we know if any of this actually worked? Well, we've defined 3 really clear, measurable metrics that will tell us if we hit the mark. First up, for our developers. For them, success looks like this: being able to find and fix a cache issue in under 5 minutes. That is a massive improvement from the hours they used to spend just hunting around in the dark. This new tool should make problems jump right out at you. Second, let's talk system performance. We're targeting a cache hit rate of over 80%. What does that number mean? It basically tells us that the core engine is humming along efficiently, saving a ton of time and resources on most of the requests that come through. And third, and this is all about the end user's experience, every single page must load in under 1 second. This is absolutely critical. We have to make sure that while we're chasing transparency, we don't accidentally sacrifice the incredible speed that made this system so valuable in the first place. So when you step back and look at all these features, all these metrics, they're all pointing to one single core idea. Every decision the system makes will become visible, explainable, and verifiable. Period. No more secrets. And this whole project, really, it leaves us with one last big question to chew on. We're building a system that can explain every single move it makes. But here's the thing. If a system can explain itself perfectly, does that automatically guarantee that we can trust it? That's a much deeper question for sure. But building this glass box, well, that's the absolutely essential first step we have to take to even begin to find an answer.